Hello and good afternoon from Auckland, New Zealand. Right now, we're outside the international terminal of Auckland Airport, where we will be catching Air New Zealand Flight 109. From Auckland, we will be flying across the Tasman Sea over to Sydney, Australia. Overall, this flight is expected to take 3 hours and 40 minutes and will cover a distance of approximately 2,200 kilometers. One thing I found strange about the check-in process at Auckland Airport was that only ticketed passengers were allowed in the check-in area. The check-in process itself went smoothly, and there was a self-service bag drop system. However, Air New Zealand requires that all carry-on bags must weigh less than 7 kilograms for economy passengers. That meant that I had to check in my carry-on since it weighed more than 7 kilograms. Auckland Airport is the city's only commercial airport. With over 15 million passengers in 2023, Auckland Airport is the largest and busiest airport in New Zealand by a significant margin. Additionally, Auckland Airport handles the vast majority of New Zealand's international flights and is one of the 2 airports in New Zealand that can handle an Airbus A380. Going up the escalators from the check-in area, you will find shops, restaurants, and a food court that contains a McDonald's and a KFC before security. Not too far from the food court, you will find a plane hanging from the ceiling. This plane is a Percival Goal 6 and it belonged to famous New Zealand aviator Gene Batten. Looks like it's time for us to get to the gate now, but first we gotta go through customs and security. The security checkpoint was quite busy that day, although I still found it to be reasonably efficient. After going through security, one is immediately greeted by a duty-free shopping area. However, it was still a surprisingly long walk to get to the gates. Also, there weren't any moving walkways between the security checkpoint and the first few gates. In that walk, I passed by non-duty-free shops, restaurants, went up an escalator, and then I passed by more restaurants, most notably a McDonald's.
Is ready to depart. All passengers should be on board the aircraft at gate 3. This is the final call. 902 is now boarding. All passengers.
Today's flight will depart from Gate 4, which fortunately was one of the closest gates to the security checkpoint. One thing I found really convenient about this gate was that it had its own toilets. However, I did have a bit of difficulty finding available power outlets. The aircraft for today's flight is an Airbus A321. Unfortunately, due to the late arrival of the aircraft, the flight faced a slight delay. As for the boarding process, unlike most other airlines, Air New Zealand did not do boarding groups. Rather, passengers were called up to board by their seating rows. While the seats did give a decent amount of legroom, that legroom was cut due to the weird curvature of the seats. In case you're wondering, yes, The curved seats did help with comfort, and I overall found the seats to be comfortable, even in economy class. Unfortunately, since it was dark for the whole flight and almost all of it took place over ocean, there will not be much in terms of views. Also, as you'll see later on, Air New Zealand has a really cool in-flight safety video.
Simply knew that we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors. We only borrow it from our children. So to show us how important it is to care for our beautiful country, simply set out to visit the guardians of this world.
Shortly after the plane reached cruising altitude, we were given incoming passenger cards to fill out. Similar to New Zealand, Australia has strict biosecurity laws, and you must declare all food and outdoor equipment. Now that we've already reached cruising altitude, let's go over the in-flight services and amenities. For starters, all passengers were offered a personal on-demand entertainment screen. I found the movies and TV show selection on the entertainment system to be very good, and there were a lot of movies. Although sometimes, all what it takes to keep me entertained throughout a flight is the flight map. Interestingly enough, the airline offers a kids version of the flight map, which showcases animals around the world. Additionally, the entertainment system provides information about the weather, not only in the origin or destination, but also in cities around the world. Overall, I found the entertainment system to be functioning perfectly fine. In case you forgot to bring your own headphones, the airline offers earbuds free of charge. Speaking of headphones, attached to the entertainment screen, you will find headphone jacks and USB charging ports. In the seat pocket, we were only given a sickness bag and the safety card, which were just the essentials. About an hour after takeoff, we were served the first round of drinks, and dinner was served not too long after that. While I forgot what exactly I had for dinner, I can tell you it was actually pretty good. The aircraft lavatory was functioning properly and was kept relatively clean.
But I have managed to get hold of an aircraft who's about 30 minutes ahead of us on the way to Sydney, and they mentioned that their turbulence stopped in about 20 minutes time from where we are now.
During the approach into Sydney Airport, I was able to get some good views of the Sydney area, despite the fact that it was dark outside. At one point, I was able to catch a glimpse of Sydney CBD and the world-famous Sydney Harbour Bridge. As we approach the final destination of Sydney, I'd like to share some final thoughts on this flight. Overall, I've had a very good experience flying with Air New Zealand. The crew were friendly and attentive, and I also found the onboard amenities and entertainment to be good as well. Despite the fact that I was seated in economy class, I felt comfortable throughout the flight, even despite the turbulence faced on the way to Sydney. In fact, I actually consider Air New Zealand to be one of the best airlines I've ever flown with. My biggest problem with the flight was the delays faced. We ended up arriving at the gate 16 minutes behind schedule. Welcome to Sydney, Australia. We arrived at Terminal 1, which first opened in 1970 and serves all international flights. Today, the Sydney Airport is the busiest airport in Australia. This was a fact that was made clear while going through immigrations and customs, which was quite busy the day I filmed this trip report. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, don't hesitate to hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, you can hit the subscribe button. Once again, I'm LeConte, signing out.